Hey, Tex.
Hey, Jussi.
It's a Halloween episode. Ooh.
A spooktacular. An AudPod spooktacular. And I can't think of anything quite as intimidating or scary as the coach of the Kitchenerrangers on the pod.
I am going to endeavor to not laugh at all in this episode.
And I'm not going to talk at all because I'm the mascot.
If you're listening audio only, Andrew is dressed like Tex. That's the other voice.
And not just any Tex. Not just any Tex. A Amazon Tex. An Amazon that can get you everything you need for a Tex costume in less than 24 hours. As we're deep in the fall of capitalism, you can still get a Tex costume on budget. As long as you have a Rangers jersey, you can get the red gloves, the red neckerchief, and the blue hat, and even the little star, which I don't know if you can make this out. If you could see what it says on my star on my hat, it says, "I tried."
You did try.
Which I feel like is perfect for this.
If only you had bought this all on Temu, because then you could be Temu Tex and
Temu Tex. I feel like wherever this came from, it was like Temu's drop shipping for Amazon for sure.
Somebody made $20 selling it on Amazon and buying it on Temu.
Definitely. And I got it. I literally bought this like in the evening last night, and it was like, spend $5 more and you can get it at 7 a.m. And I was like, yes, please bring me a blue cowboy hat at 7 a.m. That is very necessary. The fall of capitalism on the AudPod.
Welcome to the AudPod, where we're talking Kitchenerrangers hockey with the oddballs themselves, Andrew and Justin. Take it away, fellas.
We're going to go straight into a spooky story for our AudPod listeners. Maybe you've noticed that our Instagram has been taken over by Rigby, the zombie rink raccoon, or ratcoon.
Ratcoon?
As we are calling him. He's a hybrid animal. And he has significance. Yes, he does. I don't know why Tex has a voice like this, but I think he does.
He definitely would.
In our world.
He's from the 60s.
Justin, tell us about Rigby and where he comes from.
Oh, there's a grave story about this. There was one day at my house, there was a smell.
And a horrible smell.
A horrible
that took
smell.
over the entire basement and then the house.
And it smelled like butts. When we were getting some work done on the house, we discovered, finally, after weeks of not knowing what the smell was, we had some contractors come in, and we uncovered in our chimney stack a
chimney.
Also, yes, there was a chimney there.
Was there not dripping? I was told there was dripping, drip.
There was dripping of maggots coming out
every time it rained.
Every time it rained, there was dripping maggots out of a hole of our chimney.
Oh, I can't even stay with this because it was so gross.
So gross. There was a raccoon dead in our chimney, and there was a poor pest control guy who spent an hour and a half trying to get this raccoon out of the hole. He gave up, and he put the raccoon back in the hole and said, "I'm not charging you. I'm leaving." And luckily, there were some other people working at the house who had some concrete saws, and they willingly said that they would cut open the wall, but they would not touch the raccoon. And you've all heard us thank Papa Bourne at the end of the episode every week. Our director of branding and marketing, who is my father, Ken Bourne.
Branding, marketing.
Who is not squeamish at all. He put on a surgical gown and some PPE, and the contractors cut the wall open, and my dad pulled a 40-pound raccoon out of the wall that had been
bloated and dripping with maggots.
And coming out of the butthole, in fact. And this raccoon had been dead for quite some time, so it had been reconstituted by the recent rains, and was a hefty bugger.
Bloated rink raccoon.
And the guys with the saws and my dad named him Rigby. And my dad was very excited and took a bunch of pictures and sent it to his friends. And
Thunder Crash, Rigby, take over of the AudPod. That's disgusting, but that's a fun story.
Horrific
there
story.
You go. That is why we had you guess what the takeover was of Rigby the zombie rink raccoon.
We're also recording this at the beginning of the week, so we don't even know if anybody was correct. But
I bet you we had somebody guess right that it was very specifically a 40-pound bloated raccoon in your chimney. I bet you someone got that.
And it's probably Ken Bourne, director of branding and marketing. Happy birthday, Dad.
Marketing. Birthday. Thunder Crash, Rigby, take over AudPod.
You're being the fun, lovable Tex. But
that's true.
I am the juice. We get down to business when we drink our Kool-Aid.
You might be having fun, but we won't be able to tell. Unless, of course, you're with your family, because then he is quite literally the happiest man on earth. I've seen his Instagram.
Yes,
unless they're a fan of a hockey team that you may have a controversial opinion about online last week. That's right. The AudPod has made it big in Finland. Internationally acclaimed. We can say it now. We have landed in Finland. Our most well-performing TikTok clip of all time. TikTok of all time, period. Organic reach out the wazoo. Our free Oscar.
Maggots out the butt.
Maggots out the butt. Reach out the wazoo. Oscar Hemming, our free Oscar clip, went super viral in Finland.
We had a lot of Finnish people listen to the podcast. Hey, welcome. We don't know Finnish, even though I'm dressed as Jussi Ahokas.
And I mean, I really am only assuming that we reached Finland because there were just so many vowels in our mentions and likes. Yeah. There was just so many double vowels. I was like, a couple U's there, a couple A's there, a couple O's there. Okay, we got another Finn who's making a comment, who's making a response. But no, it was actually overwhelmingly positive. Most Finns want Oscar Hemming freed. It was only a few loud Kiko Espoo supporters. Espoopers? I don't know. It might catch on. It might catch on. Those folks were very adamant that the team should be paid what they're owed, as if he is some sort of asset, some sort of child asset sold off. Here, you see where I'm going with this? Speaking of Star Wars Anakin Skywalker.
Like a horse. Oh, like an Anakin.
Like an Anakin.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Spot and
sold
in the marketplace.
Have we checked Oscar's midichlorians recently?
Well, I think it's probably pretty high. That's why there's such an issue here. Yes. Actually, I've heard conflicting things. On one of the broadcasts this week, they said that he couldn't come back after a certain date, which is already passed. And then on tonight's broadcast, we're recording on Sunday night. On tonight's broadcast versus North Bay, it seemed to be insinuated that he could just come back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure there is a cutoff at some point where players can or cannot join, but it seems like
Sean will stop us at the odd. Sean will stop us at the odd and tell us. Tell us,
Sean.
Help. So you'll get the we have a new correspondent, Sean, help.
Sean knows the rules.
We have a new call out. Please help. But yeah, I did hear him say that there's going to be information about it on This Week in Rangers Nation, so you can also check that out.
Yes. Yeah, so welcome to all our new Finnish super fans. Hey. Howdy.
Hey, we don't normally dress up.
Yeah.
But when we do, we dress up as a Finnish coach and a mascot. A cowboy mascot.
Okay, we are recording on Sunday night. The North Bay game just literally ended half an hour ago. So We are getting right on the horse. Finger guns. Our first game this week was against the Flint Firebirds.
Flint.
Firebirds. On Friday night at the Odd. We won this game 4-1, and oh boy, did we win this game.
We owed them one, too.
We
said we owed them one.
We did. We lost the previous game we played against them. We lost 3-0, and it didn't really feel like a game where we should have lost 3-0. So we won 4-1, and also we probably could have won by about 5 more.
Yeah, I agree. Mason Vicari and net played very well, like lights out.
Yes.
Played extremely well for Flint, and was the only reason why it was a 3-1 hockey game until the empty netter. It could have been very lopsided, as were the shots.
Yes.
At 41-16 for Kitchener. The shots were 15-2 in the second period alone. It was a dominant win, even though it was relatively close on the scoreboard.
Yeah, everybody was firing during this game.
The first period starts off with a bang. 7 minutes in, Tanner Lamb gets on the scoreboard in what may have been the first time we could attribute a goal that Tanner Lamb scored mostly to somebody else.
Yes.
Where Hayden Ellis made an amazing play to get in and walk in and set Tanner Lamb up, and Tanner Lamb kind of just was at the side of the net and just was a bumper, basically, which is, like a Freaky Friday for Tanner Lamb. But Hayden Ellis has looked amazing all year.
Yep.
He's just going. He's just playing so extremely well. Jacob Zoo also got an assist on that. But Tanner Lamb gets his 5th of the year. I mean, he's just lighting it up. It hasn't stopped. The revenge tour continues, and it's that much easier when you have line mates like Hayden Ellis just firing on all cylinders.
There was also a moment, I can't remember if it was before or after this goal. Tanner Lamb, not being a slouch, being the bumper to put this puck in, also went for a Michigan.
He did.
Right. I think it was before this goal.
It was, I believe you're right. It was before this goal.
It's like, holy cow. Okay. Hey, Tanner Lamb.
Yeah, I mean, Tanner Lamb, bad Tanner Lamb, baddest hands in the whole damn land. That's Tanner Lamb.
Yep.
He has absolutely filthy hands. He's got great vision. He skates. I feel like the biggest improvement this year has been his skating. I feel like he really worked on that in the offseason. He's extremely fast, downhill skater this year. I feel like he also maybe put on some muscle, because it seems like that's probably helping his skating.
Yeah.
And he's not, I haven't seen Tanner Lamb, getting pushed around at all this year. So yeah, the Michigan was one of those things where I was like, I really wanted to go in for him, but then he scores shortly after that. Anyway.
Moments later. Yeah. The part is that after the Tanner Lamb goal, Flint scored, and then there was no more scoring until like midway through the third period.
The crazy thing was that the second period they didn't score. They outshot them 15-2. They outshot them 13-7 in the first period, but 15-2 in the second period. They basically threw everything but the kitchen sink at Mason Vicari in the second period.
It was 28-9 after the second period in shots, and it was tied 1-1. You're like, yeah. Vicari was unbelievable. Like, I don't want to take anything away from him. He had an unbelievable game. I thought he was going to steal them one.
And then in the third period, it happened.
He didn't steal them one.
Jakub Kromiak gets the puck in the corner, or takes the body in the corner. Cameron Reed passes the puck to Christian Humphreys. Humphreys skates down the side, the left wing boards, and then dipsy doodles his way through 2 guys, does a no-look backhand spinorama pass to the slot, and then Avery Anstis, who I am so high on after this goal, because this was a goal scorer's goal.
Yeah.
He comes in and picks up this puck that was just left on a tee for him and snipes it.
Yes.
It was one of the nicest plays all year. We posted it like probably about 20 minutes after it happened. It was poetry in motion. This whole goal was just like,
yeah, the Christian Humphreys no-look spinorama pass just was crazy. And Avery Anstis, which my phone autocorrects to Avery a stud. So,
he is.
It felt appropriate.
and I'm really excited for Anstis because this is only his second goal, but it's the game winner. It was a goal scorer's goal, as I said. He was playing on a line there in that moment. He's on the ice with Christian Humphreys, and he doesn't look out of place. I think he's coming in on a change, is why he was a little bit late. But it's just one of those things where, like, I think he was kind of projecting around the 13th forward. Excuse me if I'm talking out of turn here, but I would kind of look at the roster and think Anstis was maybe the 13th forward on paper.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't know what his game was going to entail. And honestly, he looks like he can score. And he looks like he can skate. So I'm not entirely certain that bottom six is the type of player that he is. I haven't watched enough of Avery Anstis to know, what kind of a physical player he is. Yeah. But realistically, I think that if he has that kind of offensive upside, if there are injuries, which there are going to be, guys are going to get nicked up, guys are going to get banged up. It's nice to see that this kid can take a step and play with some of the big boys.
Yeah, totally.
And then shortly after that, another 5-6 minutes after that, Cameron Arquette. I mean, can this kid stop scoring? No. The answer is no. He cannot.
Nor do we want him to.
Nor do we want him to. He has 6 goals. If somebody told you that before November Cameron Arquette would have 6 goals, would you have believed him? Yes, because the AudPod called this. The AudPod said he was going to break out. I'm victory laughing this every week. Christian Humphreys set this one up with Cameron Reed as well. I mean, 2 of the best skaters, passers on the team. It was a power play goal. Cameron Arquette, Arky, seeing him out on the power play, that's phenomenal for his development and his game and getting those stats, just banking those goals because he can snipe them. And then, of course, Humps gets his 3rd point on the empty netter.
Yeah,
late in the game.
Yeah, it was nice to see the Rangers. They only took 1 penalty this entire game. I don't even remember what it was, but it was non-memorable.
Aiden Schneider interference. First period. Meant nothing.
And then the Rangers got 4 power plays and were able to score on 1, which it finally feels like maybe special teams are going in the right direction.
And it's
and
like
team discipline.
Like coach. It's like coach. It's like, excuse me, not coach. You. It's like you said tonight, UC. When the special teams are going, you win hockey games. So
yes,
that's what you have to do.
Yes,
it is part of it. Yes.
Championship.
Do you guys want an AudPod soundboard? Because I feel like I've been dragging my feet on this, and I feel like there is a lot of really good sound clips. Insert Hayden Ellis. That's hot, right? Like that's for sure on the soundboard. You know what I'm referencing from that car that charity.
Oh, from
car
the Corvette giveaway.
That's hot.
That's hot. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, from the Corvette giveaway.
Please let Andrew know he really wants to build this, and then I don't know.
If you want a soundboard, let me know because there's some good clips so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The next game we played was in Barrie against the team that is in Barrie. They're called Barrie, and they're also the Colts.
Phenomenal.
Was that factual
coach.
enough?
It was very factual, almost too factual. Imagine if they don't play directly in Barrie. Someone will tell you in the comments.
Yeah.
If they play the way that Ottawa
doesn't
don't play in Ottawa.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh. And you tell an Uber driver that you're going to the hockey game, and they're like, I'm going to drive this car off the road.
Hey, it's an expensive fare. You're just not getting one on the way back.
No.
Okay, so Barrie Colts, Kitchener Rangers. Not the best game for a Kitchener Rangers fan.
No. But it came out, they came out pretty hot to start.
That's hot.
That's hot. Yeah, okay, I'm starting to see the value.
Yeah.
They
did. They came
the first period was
nice and spicy.
Pretty crazy. There were 28 shots in that first period. It was nutso bananas.
It was a good period of hockey. I mean, both teams got on the scoreboard. Luca Romano gets his 4th of the season. Christian Humphreys and Cameron Reed. I'm starting to see a pattern.
Yeah.
Christian Humphreys and Cameron Reed as the primary and secondary assists on like 3 goals in a row here now from game to game.
Yep. We had highlighted Brad Gardner as a threat, and he scored the first goal for Barrie. We also...
He has 9.
I know. He has 9 goals.
He has 9 goals.
And it was a good goal. Like, it was like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a good player.
He's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of good players, the second period starts, and they get one right away, but then 2 minutes later, they get the third goal to go up 3-1, and I was starting to get really worried.
Yeah, I was getting a little
Speaking
sweaty.
of good players, Kashawn Aitchison.
Yeah.
Has his 7th goal. He's a defenseman, people.
Yeah.
He's a defenseman. I'm starting to think that he could have gone earlier in the draft. That's what I'm just starting to think. And he went pretty early. That's all I'm saying.
It's pretty crazy to think that, because he got drafted by the Islanders as well, didn't he? Him and Luca Romano.
As well as Romano.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they got Schaefer, Aitchison,
and
Romano in the first round.
When it happened last year at the draft, I said the Islanders had the craziest draft. That is such an unbelievable draft. Kudos to the Islanders. They don't do a whole lot right. They definitely, their scouts are doing something right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was 3-1, but the Rangers battle back.
Yeah.
They get a power play, and with about 7 minutes left, Christian Humphreys from Cameron Reed and Luca Romano. We just swapped all the names around there.
Yep.
On the power play. That's like the holy trinity right now. These 3 guys just scoring. We needed one more, and we got one more before the period was over. I was really excited because we've said before on this podcast that last minute goal is always like such a backbreaker for like the other team that gives it up. Jack Pridham with 6 seconds left scores his 7th from Romano and Zoo. So this one was shorthanded as well.
Yeah.
And it was just a beautiful goal as well. One of those shorty chances that you love to see.
We do. And Jack Pridham is the king of shorthanded goals. He has 2 already this season. Like, he's a guy who just, he can, when he gets the puck, he is so dangerous.
He thrives on that penalty kill role. He's really underrated how much of a defensive forward he can really be.
But then he's also available for those breakouts too, which is like,
well, he just
amazing.
skates like better than 99.9% of the people in the league that he's playing right against. So like it's this perfect, kind of like a dual threat where he's breaking plays up, and then he can go the other way, which he did on this one.
We should probably talk about the second goal that the Rangers scored, because it was on the power play.
It was on the power
and
play.
It was scored only moments after the 5-on-3 had expired, which started from Schabel getting chicken winged behind his net and taken down.
Did.
And then I can't remember what the other penalty was for, but it was a 5-on-3. I remember I texted you, and the Rangers took a timeout before the 5-on-3 started, and I was like, this is an underrated move. It's like a good way to settle everyone down, because there had just been a fight. There had been like obviously some stress around the fact that like the goalie got hit, which is just a bad move, and settles everyone down. And then they got going. They had a couple pretty good opportunities on that 5-on-3, but then they didn't bury it until the one of the players had come out of the box.
The penalty that put them onto the 5-on-3 was a too many men.
Oh,
and
there you go.
And which is funny because they were on penalty kill at that point. So they just threw out 5
They
guys.
just put 5 guys on the ice.
And obviously, when Jason Schabel got hit, chicken wing, whatever you want to call it, behind the net.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know if it was intentional or unintentional, but the bottom line was it didn't have to happen, and it happened. And then Max Diracolo. I don't know. Diracolo. He stood up for his man and kind of laid a little bit of a tuning on Gabriel Eliasson, and who was the offender. And actually ended up with a 1-game suspension. Didn't play tonight because he pulled Eliasson's helmet off in the scrap, which is, you can fight, but you better not take his helmet off.
Even though their helmets come off almost all the time.
Right, but you can't take it off. And it's funny because I watched the clip of it today, and I think he's just grabbing at him. I don't think it was like, I'm going to, like, because you're fighting. I don't think he's actively like, and now I'll remove his helmet.
This wasn't like when Brad Marchand took Rasmus Dahlin's helmet and started taking it apart in the penalty box.
Right. The fascination with Brad Marchand is it's beyond me, because the next game he's crying like a little boy and who's like lost his favorite toy, talking about like back to Boston, which I understand on a human element, but he really was like bawling, like bawling, which I'm not minimizing. I'm just saying that's what he was. But then like the game before that, he's an absolute psychopath tearing the straps off a helmet. I'm like, he's just a man child.
He's
is
unhinged.
What it is. It's
unhinged.
Yeah. He is just a man child. So anyway, back to this. He gets suspended. So Max wasn't out there for the Sunday night game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because I love seeing Max play. I think he's a great depth defenseman, and he's a stand-up guy, and I don't think he should lose a game. I think that's a silly rule. I think it's a dumb rule.
Yeah, agreed. And then this game did, after all the scoring in the second period, nobody scored in the third period. So it was 3-3.
The game really tightened up.
Yeah.
Really tightened up in the third.
It did. It felt like the Rangers were a little bit disconnected in the third period. I didn't feel like Barrie was necessarily outplaying them. It just felt, I don't know what happened to the Rangers. They were just missing their passes, and it was little things that they normally do well, and they weren't doing their best. It happens.
They had 2 power plays. They didn't score. You go to overtime. We know what happens. They lose. Anybody can lose 3-on-3.
Yeah.
Anybody can win. Anybody can lose. They lose on a rush goal. Of course, who's involved? Kashawn Aitchison and Cole Bedwin.
Yeah.
So 2 guys that we talked about at length last week.
Yeah.
They did us in this week. But again, I'm fine with the point being down 3-1.
Yeah.
But I'm not happy that the power play couldn't score in the third period. You need this power play to score for you in the third period.
Yeah, they had 2 opportunities in the third. Barrie didn't have any. That was the edge you needed to get through that game. But c'est la vie, at least it didn't go to a shootout.
Yeah, and they get a point. So you play 2 games of a triple header back to back to back, and you have 3 points after 2 games. You'll take it.
Yeah, for sure. And then they came back, I'm going to say today, because it was only now an hour ago, and they played North Bay, the Battalion, the Tanks, and we won 3-1.
We sure did.
It happened.
I was really hoping for the elusive shutout, but
yeah,
it was still a very good goaltending performance.
It was. Yeah, Christian Kirsch. So we had Kirsch on Friday, we had Schabel on Saturday, and then we had Kirsch again Sunday. I would say all good performances. I don't think anybody. It looked good from both of them in those 3 games. So, yeah, this one today, I felt like Kirsch is one of his best games he's played as a Ranger.
I agree. I feel like both goalies are playing really well. You always have goals that you want to have back. That's just being a goalie. But they have given the Rangers a chance to win in every game. So I haven't seen a game where I'm like, all right, I think that we could have just, needed a couple extra saves, which is just funny because I think coming into the season, there was a lot of chatter that it was like goaltending we were going to have to overcome the goaltending inexperience.
Yeah.
And that hasn't been the case.
No.
And especially in this game, 29 of 30, Christian Kirsch, he stopped them. They got outshot fairly heavily, 30-21 in this game, but it was more that North Bay, they're workhorses and they were shooting for volume. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, those shots were, I haven't looked at if you look at Flow Hockey, you can see like where everybody took their shots from. And I haven't looked at this, but I would guess that a lot of the shots were perimeter shots.
I can tell you right now. So there was 12 dangerous shots based on the OHL's classification.
That's pretty high,
actually.
Chance. That means that Kirsch saved 11 of them.
That's even more impressive.
Yes.
That Christian Kirsch had we are validated. Christian Kirsch had a great game.
Is good. Championship.
Is very good. Championship.
Also, Christian Kirsch, he's unbelievable with the crossing pass, like the left circle to right circle or right circle to left circle pass to the office one-timer. He's so good at stopping those. Like, he is so fast off his post to the other side to stop those pucks. Like,
he anticipates it, and he's just really well positioned.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there was one that was a deflection from the slot. It was thrown into the slot, and it was deflected like it was a tip right into his glove. And it was like perfect because he was just there in position, and it was a phenomenal save. But it's all positioning, right? Like, it's like he's so big, he takes up so much of the net, and he's just well positioned, and that's a really killer combo for a goalie. It's what you have to have.
Yep.
But he's also fast, and he can also we've seen him flop around with a lot of precision and make some acrobatic saves. So they got a good one.
Yeah.
They got a good one.
I looked at the goals here on the breakdown, and I was like, oh, am I on the wrong game? No. The first goal was by Luca Romano, assisted by Christian Humphries and Cameron Reed on the power play.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's something going on here. Yeah.
I think they're good together.
I think they're really good together. Yeah, it's almost like Cameron Reed to Christian Humphries is the way that it's drawn up on the power play.
Yeah.
It's the power play is Cameron Reed is quarterbacking, get it to Humphries, who will make the pass to whoever is going to shoot and score. And guess who it is? It's Luca Romano.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was actually a really nice goal, and it didn't happen until 1 second left in the second period.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So it was 1.9 seconds left or something like absurd like that. It was a pretty even first period. The second period was a little slow to get going, and then once it started to get going, there was more chances, but there was just, they traded chances. I thought that the Rangers looked really good in this game in the first period. They probably could have had a goal at one point, but they got one in the second, and that's what mattered. And again, it's that backbreaker kind of goal where it's right at the horn, right at the whistle. You're gonna take that lead into the third period, and it was super important.
In the Rangers were 4 for 4 on the PK in this game, and the Rangers didn't get their first power play until late or midway through the second. The North Bay had quite a few opportunities on the power play in the first period, and then even to start the second period to get themselves on the board. And luckily, the Rangers played really well, I felt like, on the PK today. Like, lots of dumping.
Agreed.
Some shorthanded chances, but mostly just like winning faceoffs, blocking, and getting the puck down the ice. Like, they were very clinical in that way.
Well, special teams was just going, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they had 2 power play goals and a shorthanded goal at the end of the game. That's what you need. Like the coach said, like the Juice said tonight. If that happens, you're going to win games. So then we come into the third period. I know we're kind of jumping around here.
Yeah, that's right.
We get into the third period, and the captain, Cameron Reed, gets his first of the season. It took a little while, but he has loads of assists. Lots of apples. Lots of apples. So he scored one from Jack Pridham and Christian Humphries on the power play. There's just so much skill on this power play that, if it gets going, it's going to be the reason why the Rangers can win an OHL championship this year. Because they're going to get the chances. There's so much skill. If the skill performs the way the skill should perform, they're gonna go far.
Yeah.
I believe in that. I believe in that power play.
Cameron Reed has 10 assists this season.
Yeah, he does.
11 points in 12 games.
He's having a crazy year.
Yeah.
Okay, so 6 minutes after that, it's 2-0 now. Six minutes after that, Liram Amadovsky scores. That's Amadovsky.
Yeah.
That's not.
It was easier this year watching the
no
North Bay
relation.
game.
No relation. Yeah. Amidovski. Amadovsky.
Close, but not
from Shamar.
Not quite.
From Shamar Moses. A couple of exciting players for North Bay. I noticed both those guys throughout the game.
Yeah.
They skate hard. They played well. Amadovsky actually had a few pretty good chances in this one. And he buries one eventually and breaks the shutout, unfortunately. But like we've said before, there's games where you're up 2 goals and you let them score one, and then you start to clench and you start to worry about what's going to happen. I wasn't super worried in this game. I felt like the Rangers outplayed them. I felt like the Rangers were just going to we'll get this to the finish line.
Yeah.
We're going to get this to the finish line. And it's going to be okay. And not for nothing, the referees were trying to help.
Yeah,
them.
okay.
They're trying to help North Bay.
We definitely need to talk about this. You and I were talking about it during the game. So there was a behind the play hit. Bilecki hit. It was Bilecki. Yeah.
Yeah. With just over 2 minutes left in the third period.
Yes. Bilecki hit.
Blindsiding was the call.
A North Bay player. No. Andrew. No.
No. But I'm saying on the official score sheet, it's blindsiding is what they called it.
But Andrew,
However,
Bilecki hit this player behind the play, and the play got called because the puck was stuck up against the boards, and then there was no penalty called.
The play went on for a minute and a half.
Yeah,
I mean the play went on.
Yeah,
it wasn't a minute and a half. That's an exaggeration.
No,
but the play went on
15
for several
seconds,
seconds,
20 seconds.
Yeah,
yep.
For several seconds, the play went on.
Yeah,
and there was no penalty. There was no infraction called on the ice. And then when the play was blown dead, the whistle was blown. The officials congregated and decided that they were going to review the hit that Bilecki threw. However, there's nothing, absolutely nothing in the rule book that says you can do that. And Sean Ferfaro, AudPod correspondent, doing his job, doing work down at the Aud tonight, he asked Coach Ahokas, he asked the Juice to his face, did the refs give you any explanation to why they were able to review that? And Coach just said, no, that's just the way it goes. So it was a total screw up. Yeah. They end up giving him a 2-minute power play or give a 2-minute penalty. They give North Bay a 2-minute power play. It shouldn't have been reviewed. It shouldn't have been a penalty. I agree that you could call it an interference penalty. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you would have had to have called it when it
happened. That's how penalties work.
Yeah. Now, I believe that if something happens and you can go back and if it's called like a major or minor, you can review that, but you still have to call it.
Yeah, I don't understand how they could review the call without it being a call.
I went and I skimmed the OHL rulebook for 2025, 2026. I just literally I searched Control F review, the word review, and I went through every instance of the word review, and the ones that pertain to penalties, nothing said that this was a legitimate review. So it was just this weird we want to go back and look at something that we can't go back and look at by letter of the law.
Yeah. Very strange. Wonder if we'll hear anything from the league about this in the next couple days.
The question on my mind was, is London pulling some strings?
Yeah. It felt like London had their hands in this.
All I'm saying is those North Bay colors are awfully similar. Awfully Subway Eat Fresh to me. That's all I'm saying.
A little rotten lettuce color.
It's that smell. You know the smell.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in a Subway in New York City, and I don't mean the one underground. I mean I've been in a Subway sandwich shop in New York City. I've been one in Alberta, and I've been one here, and it always smells like that. Yeah. So I don't know what that's about, but take that for what you wish. Maybe somebody can comment and tell us what that smell is.
Might be Rigby.
It might be Rigby. Thundercraft, Rigby, AudPod, take over.
Yeah, so if anybody else has any more information about that, let us know, because we're confused. And we
have smart followers. At
that moment,
somebody will tell us.
It was 2-1 for the Rangers, and there was 2 minutes left in the game. And then, of course, North Bay pulled their goalie so that it was 6-on-4. That could have been a game-defining call.
Well, it could have affected the standings at the end of the year, right? If the Rangers lose this one or lose a point on this one, lose in overtime, you never know what that causes havoc for seeding at the end of the year. So that's stuff that I'm with 2 minutes and 6 seconds left in the game, they had to put time back on the clock too. That's the other thing, is because time had run off the clock, they had to put time back on the clock.
It was a very confusing.
It was all. Yeah, it was very confusing.
Okay, so those were the 3 games that we played this weekend. 3 stars of the weekend. Andrew, who's your third star?
My third star, of the weekend is Christian Kirsch. He had a phenomenal game on Sunday night. Tonight we're recording. And he played really well in his other start. Honorable mention to Jason Schabel, who kept us in it. There's no shame in losing an OT. I think that the goaltending I wanted to, shine a light on the goaltending to say that the goaltending has been fantastic.
Yep.
The goaltending has been a strength this year, and Christian Kirsch has stepped into that 1A starter's role, whatever you want to call it. He's getting more starts now as the season's going on, and he looks very comfortable with more work. So it's great to see a guy being brought in to kind of carry the mail, and he's doing that just fine. He's my third star. Who's your third star?
My third star is the Reed to Humphreys to goal score, insert goal scorer.
The Romano.
Yeah.
But it happened 3 or 4
Three or
times,
four times
I
this
think.
weekend. So that's my third star, is those two guys to whoever they pass to gets the goal. It's
Perfect.
great. Who's your
Perfect.
second star?
My second star is Luca Romano. He's all over the score sheet this week, and he's centers the second line, but the second line often starts the game. So there's really no, to me, there's really no 1, 2, 3, 4. There's just 1A, 1B, and 2A, 2B.
Yeah.
And Luca Romano, he's obviously, I think, playing a lot of minutes. I think he might even be playing a little bit more because Luke Ellenis is out. He's just one of these players that he does exactly what you need, but it's not super flashy all the time. So we've seen him be super flashy, like in the preseason in the NHL, had an incredible goal, a shootout goal, no less. He is an incredibly skilled player, and he's scored some major overtime playoff winners, that kind of thing. But he also just kind of consistently is on the score sheet, and he's just never the problem when you get scored on. I never look at a Luca Romano shift and I go, man, that guy was really dragging his feet. Never, ever, ever.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue with you. He was my first star, so I'll spoiler. 5 points in 3 games this weekend, but actually in 2 games he didn't score against Flint. He had 3 goals and 2 assists against Barrie and North Bay. Unbelievable, Luca Romano.
Yeah.
Okay, my second star is the no-look pass.
Yeah.
Because
obvious.
There was 2 of them. There was Humphreys against Flint, and then there was
Luca Romano.
Yeah, and then
had one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to very specifically say my second star is the no look pass, not by
the no look pass.
Just that
the
Rangers are so good at it.
I like it. I like the obscure concept 3 stars on a spooktacular AudPod.
Yes. Who's your first star, Andrew?
Well, speaking of the no-look pass, my first star is the man who had 7 points in 3 games, Christian Humphreys, the man we know and love as Humps, the guy who took the AudPod by storm. I think he asserted himself as one of the premier OHLers this weekend. I would be very surprised. Last year, he had the most points per game on this team in the limited time he played. I'm calling it now. I think he's going to lead the team in scoring. I mean, he's got a decent lead now, and he just has this phenomenal vision and this calmness to him when he has the puck. He does that no look, that rush, carried it in, no look spinorama backhand was so routine for him.
Yeah.
It didn't look like a guy who was sometimes you see guys do crazy stuff and you're like, oh man, I bet you he's blown away he did that. When Christian Humphreys does stuff, you kind of he's probably excited that they scored a goal because he's a team guy, but he's just kind of that's what I was hoping would happen.
Yes, exactly.
Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to him because I want to talk to him about the no-look spinorama backhand pass to the slot.
How do you have trust with that? That's crazy.
Yeah. How do you know that there's a trailer coming in? How do you know that when you're, it was just a phenomenal play.
Yeah, for sure.
And like I said, 7 points over 3 games. That's
unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this coming week, we only have 2 games. Back to our normal routine of 2 games in 2 days. So Friday night, we're at home at the Odd playing the Sudbury Wolves. The Wolves.
The Wolves.
So they're currently sitting 4-8-1-0 and they're bottom of the pack in the bottom of the wolf pack there in the central standings. They're not scoring a lot of goals, is what I noticed.
They have a real hard time in Kitchener at the Odd. It's like the last 25 years or something without a win. So, are they due? It's Halloween.
Yes.
It could be a frightening
What if
game tonight.
What if they're the werewolves and not just the regular wolves?
What if Ando is reassigned between now and Friday? You'll know, the listener. We don't know because this is Sunday night when we're recording.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be fitting if he came back on Halloween as the werewolf himself.
The werewolves of London. Oh, wait, no, of Kitchener.
Yeah, so Sudbury's coming in. Kieran Walton is having a whale of a year. He has got 15 points. He's a 6'6", 227-pounder. Yeah, he's drafted in the 6th round by Winnipeg. Yeah, this is a big boy coming to town, and he's got hands. He can both score and pass. He got 7 and 8 for 15 this year. But like you said, he's only +1. The team is not great this year, but they're not to be overlooked because at some point they're going to surprise Kitchener at the Odd. You have to be ready.
Yep, that's when teams are due, they're due, and that's you never want to be the team playing them. And then on Saturday we head down the road to Brampton to play the Steelheads, who are sitting mid-pack in that Central Division. It's our Central weekend. They're 6-7-0-0, and we know the Steelheads. There's not gonna be many people in that building for this game.
No, and it's a weird team this year because they had Jack Ivankovich leave, they had Porter Martone leave, they had their overagers leave. They didn't get any return on some of these guys, so it's tough going for Brampton right now. I mean, look, they played really well last year, but it was a completely different team, and they're 6-7, so they're not slouches, but it's just that, like, what is their top end talent like? I mean, we have another Kieran W, believe it or not,
the weekend of Kierans.
Witkowski, yeah. Kieran Witkowski is leading their team with 5 goals, 8 assists, and 13 points. There's some guys who have points. There's a couple other guys who have 11 points on their team. So they have some guys, but at 6-7 after the year that they had last year, especially where it was kind of a down year because they just had so much talent and everybody thought that they were going to kind of run away with things, and then they didn't, and then they lost to Oshawa, which, I mean, anybody could have lost to Oshawa last year. I hope that this isn't a trap game.
Yeah. It's hard when you're playing back-to-back games. Like, it could easily just be one of those things where you're just tired and you're like, get a little overconfident. And do you think we can get Kieran Culkin to be the in-game representative for this weekend? For both
What's
games?
His middle name? If it's not W, we can't get him.
But his name's Kieran. I feel like that's good enough reason.
It's something, but I want more Kieran W's. Let's just fill it up.
Kieran
Whole
W.
squad.
Culkin. Come on.
There you go. Maybe.
We could look that
Look
up.
it up. Can you look it up right now?
Okay. Kieran Kyle Culkin. A real disappointing middle name there.
That's very disappointing.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we're not getting him for this weekend.
We're not getting him. No.
Okay. And now we have a very spooky episode of our season series, AudHistory.
Why didn't you do that earlier?
I don't know. I do that.
I didn't know you had that in you.
I do.
Yeah.
We have our dear friend, new friend of the pod, Dave Schneider.
Yeah. Don't worry, Dave. Eventually we'll break up with you and you'll become a correspondent. That's how it goes over here.
That's how it goes over here. I don't know. Let's throw it over to Dave Schneider. And here's Dave.
When I was a kid, I went here to Shepherd School, perfectly located close to the Odd. After school, I'd run across the schoolyard, up the big hill, and this is what I saw. In those days, the front doors were open so kids like me could go in and watch the Rangers practice after school. My favorite player when I was a kid was Jack Eagers. Jack was like a hero to me. He'd sometimes buy me hockey cards during practice. He'd flip me a puck. And if one of his sticks cracked, he'd give it to me so I could tape it up and use it to play road hockey. Going to Ranger games with my dad on Friday nights was always special. We'd grab general admission tickets and make our way to our seats. We'd sit in the corner. This was our view. This was a great place to sit in those days because a lot of the scouts who were former NHLers would sit in this area too, so it was great to get an autograph. One of the things my dad always made sure I did was stand perfectly still during the national anthem because he instilled in me that the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium is a living memorial. And of course, you can't talk about the Rangers or the auditorium without talking about Don Cameron. Being the PA announcer put me in the media room, which allowed me to meet Don Cameron, have many great talks with him over the years as he shared his stories and experiences from covering the Rangers all these years. The Kitchener Memorial Auditorium is definitely a special place, and the Kitchener Rangers have made it their home for all these years. So it's really hard for me to pick one special memory from the Aud. But the most meaningful and inspirational night for me here in this building was the night that Ben Finelli returned to the Rangers lineup. I think everyone that was here that night where he was hit and watched his recovery and his journey and saw his resilience and his strength, it all came together that night. And I don't know if I've ever heard a louder ovation for a player than the one for Ben Finelli when he returned to the Rangers lineup. Hey, thanks so much for asking me to share a memory of the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium. No better place to be on a Friday night.
Thanks, Dave. It wasn't spooky. We didn't ask him for it to be spooky, so.
No, it was never going to be spooky.
No.
We're just in a silly mood.
We're in a spooky mood.
Rigby, Thunder Crash, take over AudPod. Every time it's a different version. It's a different order of the words, I think, every time I've said that.
Great. Yep.
Yeah.
Can't.
Hopefully whoever does the tireless job of editing this will just flash the Rigby graphic over the whole screen when I do that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
It's Justin.
Yeah,
Justin does
I
the
do
editing.
edit. You can tell by my enthusiasm around this topic. But thank you, Dave. Seriously, thank you. Because we love hearing
Thank
these
you,
stories
indeed.
about the Aud and the history of the Aud. That's why we called it AudHistory.
If you don't know, Dave is the in-game rink announcer, the PA announcer at the Aud. Does a phenomenal job. His voice is super recognizable to me now because I'm like, oh, I hear it all the time announcing things at the Aud at the games. And he does a great job. He's also a counselor at the city of Kitchener.
Yeah.
So
He's a man
He's
about
everywhere.
town. He's all about that town.
all about that town. All about our town.
Our town.
Rigby town. Rigby AudPod takeover. Thunder Crash.
You broke me. You broke me.
Yep.
That's enough for this episode. We have to say thank you to Ken Bourne for the fantastic Rigby logo.
I was gonna say the raccoon extractor.
The raccoon extractor. Thank you for that, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Papa Bourne. From Rigby. Woo!
Thank you to the prodigal producer, Liam.
Phantom. Ooh.
Thank you to Tim.
Tim's dead. Tim's not dead. Tim is actually going to kill me for all the peeking that I did
Yes,
in this
the
episode.
peeking-
because Tim is going to have to fix this.
And your lack of pop filter.
oh yeah,
You're very poppy.
Oh yeah,
You're a popper.
I'm a popper, little jalapeno popper.
Yeah.
Thank you to Rigby Thunder Crash AudPod takeover.
I'm so happy this happened. And Andrew, as always, you can find us at
The Kitchener Memorial Auditorium.
See you at the Aud Championship.
That's hot.
Rigby, Thunder Crash! Take over!